But
Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Smooth Cat CBT,
and this your boy Big Cool CBT. Let's go.
and today we'll talk about we're gonna talk about some of the fights from this past weekend, and also we're gonna touch on Pacquiao versus Algieri is the main topic. So first and foremost, what was your thoughts on Gilberto Ramirez over the weekend?
Man, my thoughts were, or I didn't see the fight, so I cannot even front like I seen the fight, but I know I think he the super middleweight, right?
Yeah.
I think I seen him fight on ESPN Friday Night Fights a couple months ago, a while back ago. I know he got good power, solid boxing skills, and he's a prospect to watch. So definitely somebody to watch. But I didn't see the fight, so I'd be doing the fight fans a disservice trying to break down something I didn't watch. But you give us your thoughts.
Okay.
Oh
What?
man.
Okay. What I felt like I say Gilberto. He was impressive. He looked good. He was controlling the pace of the fight. He was landing the shots he wanted to land. He was basically doing everything he wanted to do. But in that fight, I noticed he got hit to the body a few times, and it looked like it actually hurt him. And also, he was letting Zuniga hit him with some shots that he should have been there to be getting hit with. And it's like I mentioned a while back in my prospect video, I was saying that how Gilberto, he's the type of fighter you can you can draw him into a brawl and get him right where you want him because of his bravado. If it's one thing I think he needs to change, I think he needs to work on his defense, and he also needs to work on head movement because by adding those two key components to his game, Gilberto Ramirez, he's definitely a threat at the 168-pound division, and he's been calling out Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for a long time, and and the only thing he's getting is he's not ready. But if he says he's ready, then he's ready. I mean, let's put him in there instead of having him out here like these other fighters. Okay,
Nah, but let me speak on that real quick.
go ahead.
You said he want Chavez Jr., right?
Yeah,
But you said that the dude, what's his name, Zuga,
Zuniga.
Zuniga was hurting him to the body, right?
Yeah, he
And what
did.
does Chavez Jr. specialty?
You know what?
Man,
But
just answer. What is his specialty though, Mike? I'm gonna let you go to break it
you
down.
said what is his specialty?
What is his offensive specialty?
Oh,
Chavez Jr.
Chavez likes to throw a lot of shots, and he goes to the body. But what I noticed with him, it's hard to go to the body against against a guy who's not stationary in front of you. Ramirez moves some. He uses lateral movement. He just doesn't use it as often as I think he should.
Okay, okay. I'm just saying, like I definitely not doubting him, but I'm just saying, if Zunga was hurting him, Chavez definitely could do it, and he's more experienced. But Chavez is limited in his skills.
Chavez isn't more experienced than Zuniga.
He isn't,
No,
but he's more experienced than Ramirez, and
right.
he's a much bigger guy. I don't know if he's a much bigger guy than Zunga, but you know what I'm saying. I imagine he a big boy. I don't want to make it too long about it. I'm just basically just caught that the body shots, and it made me think if Chavez could have success in that fight, that would be his the way to go for him. That's all. Not saying
Okay.
Ramirez can't beat him.
But what I will say, like some I mentioned on my post fight video, I mentioned that I felt Edwin Rodriguez would be a good fight for him to kind of test himself against a top 15 type guy who's been in there with who's been there with the best fighter in the division. So it'll be good to see how Ramirez responds to that type of challenge.
I
I think.
definitely agree with that.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's carry it on to another fight over the weekend. Um, Vladimir Klitschko versus Kubrat Pulev. What was your
Oh,
thoughts on that?
oh man, Vladimir Klitschko does it again. He did what we expected. I thought Pulev would last into the 10th round, but Vladimir's power proved to be too much. Pulev really didn't go in there looking like he had a game plan. He was just trying to, you know, bum rush Vladimir. He didn't come in behind his jab. He wasn't trying to do anything. He didn't use any foot movement, anything that was smart to really, you know, to give himself a chance to win. You know, he did come to fight. He did land some nice rights to Klitschko, but his chin failed him because of the massive power of Klitschko. It's just another victory in the great career of Vladimir Klitschko, and hopefully we get to see him against the winner of Wilder Stavern. But it was a good performance. He did what you expected him to do, or what we expected him to do, and and that was win.
Okay. Uh, but like what I took from that fight is kind of like I say, like I mentioned on the post fight, it was that Klitschko was doing a lot of what he wanted to do in that fight, but anybody who says Pulev didn't have any moments in that fight, or he was just Pulev didn't mount any type of good offense, they don't, I don't know what the hell they were watching, because Pulev caught him with a left hook straight right combination that shook Vlad up temporarily, and then Vlad clinched him. Then Pulev landed a lot of good shots in that fight. He really did. He landed some nice shots in that fight, and he actually, if he had lateral movement and he would have moved his head, he could have did a lot better in my opinion. But Vladimir Klitschko took him to school as usual, and man, hey, you know what I think Shannon Briggs was the reason for that for that KO there. I think Shannon Briggs pissed him off, and Vlad took it out on Pulev because hey, the way he threw that left hook and the way he was doing it early, it was like okay, it was like he was just trying to try it out. But when he threw it in the fifth round, man, hey, I kid you not, if you look at the slow motion version of it, Pulev's lips kissed his own cheek and came back. I'm like, damn. Hey, it threw me off.
Damn, that was a good catch. My bad, but damn, I didn't see it in slow motion, but hey, he got the power to do stuff like that. So, like I said, man, it was a good performance by Vladimir Klitschko. Good effort by Pulev. Even though he kind of delusional when he said that Vladimir got lucky, and that he won a rematch, but
Oh man.
so you
I
know how
mean,
that
but
is.
I'll say like this: as a pro fighter, hey, I mean, I expect you to have pride and to not and to kind of somewhat what's that give yourself a false sense of hope.
Yeah,
But honestly, to say Vlad got lucky, man, hey, them left hooks was not lucky; they were vicious.
yeah. He got lucky. He didn't get more seriously hurt in that fight because he did get yes touchdown. Oh dang, but yeah he didn't. My bad, but he didn't.
I ain't Tennessee Titan fan.
Yeah, but Pulev lucky he didn't get more seriously hurt in the fight. But that's the only thing he lucky about. But yeah, pretty much good fight.
Oh man. Well, I'll say this. We'll go off topic from those fights, and we'll talk about some other news that happened over the weekend about the basic cancellation of the Demetrius Andrade versus Jamel Charlo fight. Well, what's your take on that so far?
I'm disappointed because you know how I feel about Demetrius Andrade.
Right.
Um, I thought that he would win this fight, even though I thought it would have been a lot closer, a lot tougher. But I heard it was never finalized. Matter of fact, not that it was agreed to. You know what I'm saying? He was bad. I heard it was never finalized, even though Showtime continues to drop the ball on things like that, announcing fights that's you know, not signed, sealed, and delivered. Even though I know sometimes that's common nature to do things like that when you just trying to iron out minor disagreements and details. But I'm disappointed in Andrade for you know basically pulling out of the fight for whatever reason, he when I did interview him, he did say he would whoop both Charlos, he whooped Canelo, he whoop everybody, and for him to pull out the fight, what I'm saying, it's disappointing, but I guess if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So whatever he felt money wise, it led him to his decision. But he got to answer some questions.
You know what? I'll say it like this. My take on it is plain and simple. I just feel like from Jump Street, I told you guys, I told y'all directly that one of my sources was telling me that he was kind of skeptical about the fight, and he also told me that Andre will make a couple of accusations like the money wasn't right and things of that sort too. But I mean, on the sense of him saying that he wants to be there for his baby, I don't blame him for that at all. Because I mean, I don't know how many kids he has, but if he doesn't have any, if that's your first child, I can understand you want to be there for that. But overall, I mean, but basically coming out and saying all these guys are ducking you, this guy's afraid of you, the Charlos ain't on your level, you will whoop both their ass and all that. If that's the case, why not take this easy fight, as you call it, and make easy work of it?
You got a point there, man. Even though I give him, I don't think he really thought that'd be easy. But like you said, when you put that out there, you leave that open for interpretation. If you hear him talk, he was confident that he'd whoop him, but I thought that he was just gaming it up, talking a potential fight between the two of them or whatever, three-way fight or whatever he planned on doing with him, But like I said, man, these fighters got to start thinking before they speak, man, and stop with the BS. Either fight or don't fight. Either fight somebody and all that. Don't make no excuse. Be a man about it, or just don't say nothing at all, and wait till you get whatever fight you're looking for. But let CJ hop on this.
All right, welcome, Mr. Goodfella. How you doing?
Thank you, everybody. Just calm down. I'm here. Keep your bras and panties on. So what y'all talking about?
The Demetrius Andre jumping out of the fight with Charlo.
Andrade didn't want to hurt Charlo and fuck his career up, man. That's what really happened. He was like,
man.
He want my man to make as much money in this game as he can. He didn't want to have to do another brother like that. That's how I felt about it. It's like, no.
Stop.
He want to be there.
Stop.
I mean,
Stop.
you can't knock him for that, but you knew you was having. I guess. I mean,
Right.
you really know when the child.
Go on, say it. Go on, let it come out. You knew 8 months ago that the baby was coming. You knew 8 months ago that baby was coming.
Yeah, he knew that, but
But
maybe.
did he know 8 months ago he was gonna fight Charlo?
No, he didn't.
All right, but then maybe that's what maybe I feel you. Like, I'm not trying to make no excuses. I don't know what to do mentally. I only talked to him once, and he seemed like, he beat the whole junior middleweight division. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe something came up with that he had to be there. Maybe something with his girlfriend, fiance, where she need him every minute of the second, to be by him. You never know. You got to look at it health wise with her too as well. So you never know. You just take him at his word. You happy that about the pending birth of his child or their child, and you just hope that him and Charlo can at least fight sometime next year, man.
I heard it's January the 10th, but I heard HBO has rights to his next fight. So
okay, I was hearing that too, and also I heard that his potential opponents are either James Kirkland, K9 Bundridge, and last but not least, another guy that's said to be a dark horse, Alfredo Angulo.
Alfredo Angulo did not need to be back on HBO. No.
Alfredo Angulo don't even need to be on my TV screen after he shot.
No, but he lost it, man.
Left.
But the thing with that is, I mean, it's not to be funny, but Demetrius Andre, he mentioned something in that interview with Big Cool that was kind of alarming to me. I don't know if many people paid attention. He said, I prefer to fight the guys who come to me and bring the fight. I don't like fighting guys who don't bring the fight. That made me think like, okay, so you can't deal with a boxer.
I don't remember him saying that, but you probably, hey man, I ain't watched
He
it in a
said,
minute.
hey, I just watched it today. He said that. I paid attention for that.
But didn't Canelo say the same thing?
Yes, he did.
Well, I'm saying they all these fighters
But
got that mentality, I think.
but on the flip side,
But I
two
know,
out of Canelo's last three fights has been against slick boxers, two of the best in the world.
true, that is true. But I'm just saying,
And in the case with Demetrius Andrade, this fight right here would have been like this would have been an early statement fight for him if he could have won. But by him not taking this fight and going elsewhere with it, it makes you think like, okay, so the thing is, you only want to fight guys who can make you look good. You don't want to fight the guys who you have to pursue in the ring.
well,
That's
maybe,
that's
but okay. I didn't mean to finish what you're saying before
go
I make my part.
go ahead. You
But
good?
also you got to look at it, marketing strategy wise. Is also, you know what I'm saying, if he can get away with it, because people, I'm not gonna say the guy's name because he like you said, somebody said on Facebook he didn't start off that way, but we know who we all talking about. You know, maybe he need those guys to make him look better than what he is. Not saying he's not that talented, but maybe he needs to make these guys, need these guys to make him confident that, you know what, I can destroy, I can fight a puncher that has somewhat of boxing skills, but you know what I'm saying, that's not really a Charlo or Lara or whoever it is. But by fighting them and making it kind of having a somewhat tough fight, it'll get me these bigger, money fights where I can't turn down the money. So if a Charlo, if they would have said, say they offered him like 1.5, 2 million, I'm pretty sure he would have took the fight. I don't know what he was getting offered, but maybe that's his strategy is to, knock out these guys like Kirkland and Angulo and K9 who can punch, you know what I'm saying, and then, step up to Charlo and Canelo and Lara, and then, go from there. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just how he was thinking. I don't know.
You know, I look at it like this with a lot of guys, especially young champions. Okay, first and foremost, now you have a real title, true enough, but outside of that, what have you done to garner this type of money that you're asking for? You don't have big numbers. You're not a cash cow. So what is it that you're doing outside of talk that should get you this money? Go ahead, Mr. Goodfellow.
You got to build. You
Huh?
got to build. You got to build. Build bring money.
Yeah, simple.
To an
See,
extent, yeah.
when people say that, like what you just said, Mike, that kind of like it rubbed me the wrong way because you say what has he done to require all the money? It depends on what you ask. And like in his pro career, he's a highly talented fighter from the Olympic
He's a
team to
highly
now.
decorated amateur. Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, he's a highly decorated amateur. Very good professional. So far in his career, you know what I'm saying. Maybe you got to start to take into account what he did in the amateur as well as him having the title, already. And look at the skill he brings. Canelo, as talented as he is, we will all say that maybe Andrade probably is more technical and more talented than him, sort of so to speak. But Canelo gets these offers, thrown at him, even though he has a big following. But why can't Andrade or Charlo or whoever get a fight with some decent amount of pay that comes with it? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you got to make money in whatever you
True,
do
true.
in
But
life.
so hold on. My fault for cutting you off, but I got to get you there because okay, if you look at it like this, if you would have fought Jamel Charlo and won that fight, that's a fight with a top 10 junior middleweight. So only thing you can do is go up from there, and not only top 10, I think he's top 6, top 7 junior middleweight in the world. So only thing your career can do is skyrocket after that. So if you would have took that fight, you could have possibly earned the right to make the type of money that you want to make. But by you not taking the fight, now you got the potential that you're gonna fight a guy for less money, a less notable fight, and you're gonna have fight fans like, oh, here we go again, another come forward brawler, no head movement is all he want to fight.
True, but look, man, like I can't really bring up old boy, but like also you got to take in his rumors going around that he don't really want to sign with Al Haymon. You got to look at that. For some people saying that's a
Yeah,
plus. That's a
I
plus.
heard
Like he
that
don't
too.
want he don't want to sell his, I don't know if sell his soul is the right word or term to use, but whatever it is that people don't like about Al Heyman, he could have easily went that way and said, you know what, I'm gonna sign with Heyman. I'm gonna fight Brian Rose for 2 more times, get like 1 million for that, 2 million for a trilogy belt, or he can do whatever he's doing in his head to make it that he thinks is smart. I don't know, man, because like I said, he kind of a complex dude. He kind of his thought process is kind of different, and you know what I'm saying. And I don't know what his team has in mind, but if it's Kirkland, I guess you could say it's still equally as dangerous as Charlo fight
Right.
because he punches like like no other, and he can just dog. He just take his soul from him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
You
And
know what?
Kirkland is dangerous.
Right. You know what? That was something I was gonna say. By no stretch of the imagination was I trying to say like Kirkland wasn't a threat because he is a threat. But okay, that's like K9. I respect K9, and K9 is a solid fighter. But I just think I think Andrade is all wrong for K9 by all means. Hey, how did you see that fight going, King fella?
Well, K9 and Andrade.
Yeah.
Man, Andrade beat his ass. I think fighters are wrong for K9 too. I think his speed is just too much. His physicality is too much. He's too big for him, too fast for him, too much athletic ability, fast hands. I don't think K9 being too much, but getting knocked off balance and hitting the canvas a couple times. But I believe he will finish on his feet. But I think it would be a one-sided fight. So it's not. I mean, that'd be the smart thing for him to do is go for K9 and unify the belt. That's what I'm not mad at him for putting out the Charlo fight at all because it's a fight I wanted to see. But if you don't want to sign with Al Heyman, you don't have to. I mean, they were trying to get him signed over there. If that's the case, I think he want to move how he want to move. He want to be able to shift between HBO and Showtime, and that's the power he wants to have. But it's not going to happen because either one of them is going to lock him down for some or option them for fights, and that's what Al Heyman was trying to do is option them for fights on Showtime. So just in case if he did beat Charlo, he wouldn't. He would still have to fight on Showtime and not really go back to HBO and fight who they have to bring. So he want to have the flexibility, but he don't have the power to do it because either one is going to sign him up. HBO already had options on him, so this fight, they would have been dealing with Al Heyman and HBO if Andrade signed with him, and that would have been a problem, and they probably would have tied up his career for the legal consequences he would have had for signing with Al. Let's say HBO didn't want to work with Al Heyman. They said we don't want to work with you, but we don't want to do business with him, but you're still obligated to fight these next 2 fights. That could have been a legal issue. It'd been a real problem for him. He had to sit out for a minute, and I'm sure he didn't want to do that. So why not go to HBO, 5 more viable opponents, and easier opponents for his style, and make that money? So he's doing a smart thing, in my opinion. I don't think the Charlo fight was built up right enough. It was 2 young guns going at it that we all wanted to see. But right now, it wasn't the time and place for him to fight him. He might still fight him January 10th, but you still never know. You still never know if he just chooses to just play it out of HBO. I think he would beat James Kirkland. I think he would beat K9, and he would build his brand up a little bit more. But I still don't think he becomes a star without fighting Canelo Alvarez on Showtime. So he's in a tough pickle. But he could be the HBO. Well,
No, Canelo with HBO.
I forgot he's on HBO now. So yeah, I think HBO is the way to go for him. Charlo is too dangerous opponent for him. He can make him look bad, stylistic wise. But I think he chose the right. I think if he goes back to HBO, he made the right business decision. But for the fight fans, they tired of hearing about the business and the money and all that the capital stuff that's going on. Nobody want to hear about the capitalism and all that crap. We want to just see fights and good fights, and that's the fight I think everybody was looking forward to was Charlo and Andrade. And now another Charlo brother gets
screwed out of a real title fight.
Yep, another. And I know they look at each other strong with us, but the style that they bring doesn't create a lot of newcomers that's going to come and want to give them a shot at the belt. And that's something they're going to have to deal with until they become mandatory. So I really advise them to become.
He's the mandatory.
Oh, he's a mandatory.
Yeah, he's the
Well,
mandatory.
Well,
they should
then
give
and
him to a
then
person.
Andrade will be stripped if you don't fight him. But you got to also look at it. He might be trying to go the Golovkin route and try to force the fight with Canelo by unifying the division. I mean, unifying his titles to give more interest in Canelo. If Canelo really wanted to, unify the division before he fully moves away. Maybe he's trying to
But
force a fight like that. I'm just saying. I don't know,
true.
man.
I,
You gotta. He doing what's best for him. I think he should stay on HBO if he can, by any means. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like that's the top neck work. You got Canelo. You potentially got Lera. Well, no, not Lera because he with Heyman. Well, you pretty much fucked. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So it's his career. He got to do what he got to do for himself and
True.
his family.
And true, hey, I most definitely understand that. But like I say, my thing is because I keep hearing the Canelo Alvarez mentioning if, but if you really wanted to fight with a guy like Canelo, you would have took the Charlo fight because it entices Canelo more to fight you by you knocking off a young lion that he doesn't have to knock off. But like I say, it's like I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey, I respect Demetrius Andre, but honestly, that's like that's what's wrong with boxing today. Nobody wants to take the risk. Nobody wants to step out to be great. Everybody would just want the easy money. Oh, I need the money, the money, the money, the money. Okay, the money gonna be there, but at the end of the day, when people look at your legacy, what are they gonna say?
Man, well, I respect. I see that too. Of course, we want all these fighters to fight the top fighters, but this is a man sport, and you hitting each other with you fighting guys that can punch. They got
Right.
concussive power. And it don't even matter. Like punches to the head affects your health, regardless of what you want to say. It don't matter if you fight Paulie Malignaggi, you know what I'm saying, 20 times. Getting hit in the head and to the body is gonna affect you when you get older. So you got to get as much money as you can, save up as much as you can, and and, and also look out for yourself in the long term. Boxing is just not a short term thing, or you just want to be a great fighter. You want to have as much as your health as you can when you call it quits, and as well as your money. So it's a long term thing. Like D Rose said, man. Like your boy D Rose said. By him sitting out games. I don't want to talk about basketball, but by him sitting out games now, he thinking about his future when he old and gray. So you can't knock a person for thinking ahead.
And by no means, like I say, am I not? I'm not knocking. What I'm saying is, as a fighter, you, like I don't know, like I said, I miss the old school mentality of it, and this the convo right here from the irritate me. So we gonna get into the main topic of the show, Pacquiao and Algieri.
Well,
Okay,
Freddie Roach just said he predicting the first round knockout.
man,
Freddie Roach always
Freddie
predicting that
Roach
shit.
always predict the early knockout. But Mr. Goodfellow, what's your take on this fight? What needs to be done by Pacquiao and Algieri to be successful?
What needs to be done by Jerry is to keep Pacquiao into that jab and do and use his movement to try to befuddle Pacquiao and work that jab and be active and be more active and push Pacquiao getting into his pocket because that'd be a no. And Pacquiao had being range. What I would advise Algeria to do is to really try to keep Pacquiao at distance, which is not going to be easy in his speed, and that's going to be a tough thing to keep him at the end of that jab and keep that space between them. Because if he doesn't keep that space and he let Pacquiao jump in and jump out like he wants to, or jump in and work, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And for Manny Pacquiao, what he needs to do is feint, get a lot of good movement, maybe move around for a minute, then jump in and jump out. He might be able to jump in and jump out. But if I was him, I would jump in sometimes, stay there. Sometimes I would jump out just in that not like Algieri counter. But what Pacquiao is really going to have to do is going to have to really cut the distance between him and Algieri off. That's going to be the biggest issue for him. And I believe he have no problem because he's a veteran fighter. He done fought a lot of taller, bigger, smaller guys in the ring. So I have no problem believing that Pacquiao is not going to be able to cut the distance off. For me, for Algieri, the biggest question is, can he maintain the discipline of keeping that range and be able to get off and use his movement to get from corner to corner and befuddle Pacquiao and make Pacquiao go all offensive minded. Because if Pacquiao is all offensive minded, he is there to be taken advantage of, and he might can potentially get a nice combination going. I'm not going to say a knockout
Right.
because I don't think he can knock out Manny Pacquiao, but it's all about distance in this fight. You know, the hardest thing to do in boxing is to fight from the outside and keep distance and not let guys get inside you. But Pacquiao has the speed and the movement. I expect him to be able to come in at will and get off. I'm thinking Pacquiao is going to have an easier time, but I think Algieri's movement early on is really going to be fuddling.
Be cool.
Like I said, man, Pacquiao gonna no, what I'm saying. Algieri's gonna win this fight. Whether he win it legitimately or the judges rob him, he gonna win the fight. He gonna walk out the ring the winner. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm wrong about this fight. I ain't gonna be embarrassed about being wrong. I just think that he gonna be able to keep Manny Pacquiao at bay with his jab. I think he gonna keep him on the move. He's gonna spin him. He's gonna keep the fight in the middle of the ring. I think he's gonna have to increase his output a lot more than he did with Provodnikov, because Manny Pacquiao is still a relatively aggressive, active fighter. Once in the ring, and I don't think Pacquiao can knock him out, and I damn sure don't think Algieri can knock him out. So you know what I'm saying, this going to a decision, and I think that Algieri gonna get a unanimous decision. Not none of those whitewash 12-0, fights, but 7-5 or 8, 9-3, 8-4 type fight. But I think that he gonna surprise a lot of people and continue on the momentum he built in Provodnikov. Man, I think he has a lot of speed, not as fast as Manny, but he has a lot of speed, and I think his jab and timing is gonna be a key to throw Manny off, who comes in at awkward angles. So his footwork gonna definitely be a key as well.
Okay. I'm looking forward to early on trying to see kind of like King Goodfellow mentioned about the controlling the distance part, because if Algieri can control the distance early in this fight, he can get a wide enough lead by him being the bigger, taller man. He can get a wide enough lead to make Manny Pacquiao have to become more aggressive and play even more into his hands of counter punching, shooting the jab, and his inside combination punches that Algieri likes to throw. But on the flip side, for Manny Pacquiao he's gonna have to use feints, very smart feints. He's gonna have to feint in, feint out, and throw shots like that, so he can basically what Pacquiao wants to do. Pacquiao needs to gain head control in this fight. If he can get Algieri to the point where he's basically controlling Algieri's head by probing shots and then throwing with the other hand, this fight could be very dangerous for Algieri if he allows Pacquiao to get head control. Another thing is I'm looking forward to Algieri throwing a lot of body shots this weekend, especially that left hook to the body that he likes to throw. He hit Ruslan with it a few times. He even backed Ruslan off him 3 times with it. And I always hear people say Algieri doesn't have power, but his power has to be respectable enough, because he was keeping Ruslan Provodnikov at bay, and we all know Ruslan Provodnikov can take a hell of a shot, and he was basically keeping him at bay for the whole for the majority of that fight. But in this one, I look at it like this: I think Manny Pacquiao is on a mission, and his mission is to get this fight with Floyd Mayweather, whether however realistic it is. But his mission is to get that fight, and I think he's gonna come out in this one. I think he's gonna end his knockout drought, and he's gonna stop Algieri in the 10th round. He's gonna he's gonna cut Algieri up and basically put a beating on him. Is
I
what
got
I
him
believe.
stopping. I got him stopping Algeria in 6th round.
Oh, y'all smoking, y'all sleeping on, man. Y'all sleeping on
No,
Algieri.
no. Hey, I'm not sleeping on Algieri. I love Algieri, but I don't see him winning this fight.
Man, I hope. Well, whatever. Well, I'm saying if Pacquiao come back with a vengeance, I'd love to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Pacquiao. But I don't care if he knock him out. He knock him in the fifth row. He ain't getting no Mayweather fight, because of obvious reasons. So he hopefully maybe Marquez will come down, or he
He
fight
talking,
Garcia,
talking
or
Mayweather, but he not. But he's talking about going down to 140 and 135.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
How realistic is his dreams? He talking all that
he don't
shit
want.
to fight right now. He don't really. That nigga don't want that. Neither one of them really want to fight, or the fight would have been made, obviously.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
I don't really count on the fight ever being made and never seeing a fight, so it don't bother me no more. But when we more realistic, you're talking about Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao
Yeah,
coming up very.
I like that
That's the only
fight.
thing that's realistic. 'Cause
Most definitely. I love that fight.
Terrence Crawford is it should be going to 140, and Pacquiao is going to 140 after this fight. So that's a fight
But
that you can talk about.
But
honestly, though, I think that fight is a little early for Bud. I think that fight is way too early. I think he needs more seasoning. I'm not saying he's good enough to compete, but I'm not sure if he can. I'm not sure right now if he'll win that fight.
yeah, I'm not sure either because he did have a lot of trouble early on against Yuriorkis Gamboa and whatnot. But like I said, Yuriorkis Gamboa is a fresher fighter than Pacquiao. But man, it's hard to really tell when it comes to those type of fights because as good as he is and how great we think he will be, it doesn't matter. Once a old veteran or legend or whatever, he get one good win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He found a fountain of youth, ex Bernard Hopkins or whatever. And you can just go on a crazy streak. But also, Bud Crawford's talking about he would be going up. He would be willing to go to 140 to fight Danny Garcia. So.
Yeah,
Hell, you know what I'm
I
saying?
heard the news on that too.
Hey, I love that fight. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that fight.
And I'll be honest with you, Danny and his team, they're not gonna take that fight. They're not gonna take that fight at all. That fight is a stylistic nightmare for them.
What, Grandma?
Yeah, but hey, I don't know. I really honestly think Algieri's gonna win. I hope he wins. I need a prediction to go right. I really do.
You know what I said this? Me honestly, hey, I can't lie. Me and you, we discussed this multiple times. Hey, I really like Algieri, and I believe Algieri's gonna give him some problems. But I think Pacquiao is gonna cut the distance, and I think Pacquiao's gonna be landing his combinations. And like I say, like around the 10th round, he gonna start landing the type of shots that he wants to land, and he's gonna cut them up and basically have the way Algieri I was looking in the Ruslan Provodnikov fight, you can look forward to seeing that again. Very, very, very reminiscent.
See, I just don't know, man. I really honestly do not know about that because as good as Pacquiao looked against Bradley and Rios and Bradley again, you got to understand Rios is a very, very limited fighter, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you take away his power, he just be known as a guy that can take a chin, and that probably is
He can
just
take
the
a
action.
punch. He can take a punch.
Not take a chin, but interception, baby. That's what I'm talking about anyway. But not take a chin, but take a punch.
I Tennessee Titan fan.
Yeah, Ben, that's what I'm talking about. Throw them interceptions. But like I said, man, Bradley, for whatever reason, Bradley fights stupid. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just the machismo in him trying to come out and prove a point or whatever. He just can never he fight Pacquiao he fought one man with Marquez like he should have fought Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a difference when you got a guy who's sitting there always moving, throwing shots from like this, all crazy angles and stuff. So it's definitely a difference. But
It is.
I'll say this though. Be honest, like I say, I feel that Algieri's footwork will cause some problems. But what I do know about Algieri, if you look at the Emmanuel Taylor fight, when Emmanuel Taylor started going to the body, Algieri was basically standing right in front of him because the body shots were starting to drain him. And I mean, Pacquiao isn't known he's not known as an established body puncher, but for this fight, he definitely needs to go to the body.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, maybe, but also you got to take into account it's a possibility because some fighters that really not big punchers, at one weight class might move up, you know what I'm saying, and gain some
Right.
substantial power. And he has bulked up, you know what I'm saying? Algieri has bulked up. Is at 144. You know what I'm saying? And he might gain some substantial power to, really be able to hurt Pacquiao. I'm not saying knock him out because Bradley hurt Pacquiao in the third round of the rematch, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, you know what I'm saying? He hurt him.
Mhm.
And once been knocked out, like he was knocked out, your chin is always in question. No matter how many fights you've gone by without getting knocked out or knocked down, that weakness can show up at any point in time at the right placement. And you know what I'm saying, he can get knocked out. I'm not saying he will, but I just think Algieri, man, his reach gonna be too much. His foot movement, his jab. I think he's gonna be active. I think he's gonna be smart and aware, and I think he's gonna be disciplined and stick to the game plan. Oh yes, touchdown, run, oh motherfucker, run. I'm my bad, man, my bad.
All right.
I'm 2-7.
Show them, but I'm still repping my team, man. I'm still repping my team.
All right.
Hey, shut up, Mike. Shut up, Mike. Don't be all hating like that. We know this is a boxing thing, but you got some emotion.
No.
The Bears suck.
Say that again.
You heard me?
No. I didn't.
He said the Bears suck.
Yeah. Well, hey, we getting ready to go on our historic run now. We're not gonna lose another game this season.
Yeah. Well, CJ the only one that can talk shit.
Y'all play next week, don't y'all?
I know exactly who we playing next week.
Yeah, you're gonna choke on your turkey wing.
Yeah.
Turkey necks and shit.
I ain't gonna choke on nothing because as usual, y'all finna start y'all losing streaks like y'all do it every year. I don't even know why this surprises you anymore. But hold on, wait, hold on one second.
We gonna beat y'all, though. We gonna beat y'all.
Hey, hit that like button. Leave your comments in the comment section. Definitely get back to
Hey, what y'all think about Lomachenko, man, and DeMarco?
Hey, that's a good fight, but hit that subscribe button. CBT out.